Okay, we're talking again. Watch out. Take one.
Or 4, whatever.
We never do retakes. We don't care.
No, what you see is what you get.
I'm in a mood. Oh my God. You could get lost in there. So introduce us before we go any further.
Oh,
Like we need
my
any
name is Lynn
introduction.
Morris. I'm an herbalist and a psychic medium and a talk talk show host here with my partner. What is her name again? Oh, yeah, Deborah Rose. And
No,
Deborah,
no, no, no. That's not how you introduce me. That's not my name.
oh, Deborah Colleen Rose.
You're a queen.
Oh, I am not introducing you as a queen. Forget it.
Well, see how you are.
Forget it. So Deborah does, she's a private
Stripping.
investigator.
It's not like you said stripping.
No, private investigator. She does coaching, counseling. What else do you do?
Aggravate.
She has Miles of Smiles Entertainment, where we entertain with all kinds of palm reading and handwriting analysis and lip analysis and blah, 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 and read cards.
Because I am a Christian mystic. You're a psychic medium, but I'm a Christian mystic. What's the
Yes.
difference, you ask? So glad. You want to tell me what the difference is?
If I knew, I'd sure.
Yeah, most people don't know. The only difference is, well, no, I can't say only because it's a huge difference for me personally to identify that way, is that I am a Christian by faith and I believe in the spiritual gifts that are talked about in the Bible, speaking in tongues, healing, laying of hands, turning water to wine. I don't like wine, but when I can turn it to bourbon, we have reached the ultimate utopia. But I believe in all those gifts. And because I identify as Christian, psychic medium, I think, puts out a false presentation of representing who I feel I am. That's the difference. I could go on for hours and hours, but I won't.
Thank God. Okay, so yes.
My sinus is really good.
Yeah, right here, right here. I just feel like that it would be more entertaining maybe if we had music in the background, but okay, they probably couldn't hear
Yeah,
you
every
very
time we try to put music on there, we get hit on YouTube for copyright issues. So I'm just not going there. All the copyright music, I mean, uncopyrighted music that we can get, I don't like. So screw it.
well. What if we're just listening to the radio in the background?
Can't do it. Can't do it. You cannot
You're
play.
kidding.
No, where have you been? No.
In a hole someplace, probably
I guess
under a
no.
rock. In a rock, under a rock.
No, we'll get red flagged on Spotify. We'll get red flagged on YouTube. And so I'm real careful about what music I have, period. And since I'm not really good at editing, which you can tell if you listen and watch any of these because they're never edited.
No,
Which
no,
I
what you
think is
see is what you get.
fun.
Well, I had something strange happen to me, and I kind of want to talk
This is
about it
strange.
today.
It's normal for you.
Yeah, I guess it is. I was hit with anxiety on Saturday. I first thought maybe it was fear of failure, because I do have that, or fear of success, or whatever you call it. But I think it's just fear of the unknown, because it was so anxiety laden. Let's see what I looked up the definition of that. So fear
if
of
you
the
were walking into a lion's den and you were fearful, that's fear of the known, right?
right.
That's just common sense, right?
Yeah. So fear, if you're having fear of the unknown, you experience significant distress and anxiety surrounding that which is unknown or uncertain, and may go to great lengths to seek certainty, even at a personal cost. And what I was invited to, I have been wanting to be invited to for years, probably. And I was so happy to be invited. And it was going to be kind of a potluck. So I was making this casserole, which failed.
And nobody cared. Nobody cared but you, because there was plenty of food at this thing.
Yeah, but I just thought, well, the first time I go, I can't go empty-handed. And
Well,
and
what do
that was, I think that's part of my how I was raised. You can't go empty-handed. But I thought, we'll just forget it.
Do you know what I thought when you said you can't go empty-handed? Do you really want to
What?
know? You want to know?
Yeah.
Okay, with that ample cleavage, you could have walked in like this and said, "Here I am,"
Well, I guess I suppose I could have, yes.
and you would
Well,
not have been empty-handed.
no, I would not have, but it wouldn't have been the kind of gift that you take to a group.
I guess I should say this after telling everybody that I'm a Christian. I'm not a really good Christian, as you will see from this tape today, because I'm on a roll.
So how do you deal with that anxiety,
Well, I think that there's a lot of ways to deal with it. But the first thing you have to do, first of all, let me tell you what I call that. I call that comfortable discomfort. You're not comfortable in your life right now. You're looking for change, or you're telling yourself that you're looking for change. I'm in coaching mode right now, just and so, but at the same time, you're comfortable because you know that discomfort and you know what it's like and you know how to deal with it, or you think that you know how to deal with it. And the idea of doing something different is so much more uncomfortable. It freezes you up. Isn't that brilliant?
Yeah, I felt frozen. I felt, what is that they say? Frozen with fear.
Yeah, I mean, that's very
know,
true. That's very true. So, why do people do that? I don't know. I don't know why people do that. I've always that's never really been my problem. My problem has been that I do things without thinking through all the consequences. So I was always a kid that would you dare me, I'm going to do it twice. You tell me I can't do it, I'm going to do it. And I realized about 10 years ago that I wanted to make changes in my life, because I realized that a lot of the decisions in my life were made, but not because I wanted to do that or I thought I needed to do that, but because someone told me I couldn't. And by God, I was going to show them that they were wrong. And I realized that that's no way to live your life either. So the point is, any extreme is not healthy.
yeah, because I did some of that too. People would say, well, you can't do that. Well, hide and watch.
Yeah, don't even hide. Sit right there. I want you to have a front row seat, and I want you to watch, because I'm going to cram it down your throat.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things, but it's like, I have had traumatic experiences in the past going to parties. I'll never forget this Halloween party I went to. We were supposed to dress up. And so I put on my black sweater and my black leotards and got cat ears and a tail.
You were a pussy cat.
Yep. So I was really excited about going, and there was, bring a dish, blah, blah, blah. And I think I had made apricot pound cake or something. I'm really good at that. So anyway, I don't remember, but I got out of the car and the front door was open and the screen door was closed, but it was one of those old-fashioned screen doors. Didn't have glass in it. And a couple of people were standing at the front door and said, "What is that?" And I thought, what are they talking about? He says, what is she pretending to be? And I thought, you know what? I'm going to this party anyway. And so I went, but it was a total disaster. But it's things
They
like
didn't
that.
recognize that cat ears represented that you were a cat. Are you kidding me?
Well, I'm not a little girl. I'm a big girl.
So what? There are fat cats out there. In
Well,
fact, that is
my
an
thought
old saying,
exactly. My thought
you know.
exactly.
Well, here's the thing. And here, there's a cliche saying out there going, "Oh, he's a fat cat," meaning he's very successful and he's very smug about being successful.
Mhm.
Okay, so this goes deeper. I get that you say this is traumatic, okay?
Mhm.
But this is not traumatic on the level of dealing with something of the unknown. Oh my God, you're just gonna make me go into coach mode today, aren't you?
Yes.
This she gets free coaching like this all the time. It's very annoying. This
Oh, that's what Elizabeth says about her ideas for my advertisements. Okay,
what?
if I tell you any more, I have to charge you.
No, I'm never going to charge you. You're my friend. It's just that I'm not always my best on Monday mornings, and I like to give you my best. Um, this is self-esteem issues, which is different. Okay. And I think that is probably a huge problem for a lot of people. It's not really fear of the unknown, it's self-esteem issues because they're afraid of not being accepted or fitting in. And they go kind of hand in hand, but they're not the same thing. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? So I
yeah,
think
okay,
you
I
did
can see
really
that.
a great thing in staying at the party, but why was it a disaster after that? Is my question. What?
Well, because these are people I worked with. They should be able to talk to me, right? And so I would go to different groups and well, what are y'all talking about? Blah blah blah. What's going on? Like your costume. Where's your costume? Why didn't you dress up? That sort of thing. And then they would answer my questions and then like turn away from me and have their own little conversations.
Was that your normal experience with these people at work and stuff, or was this something new?
Well, I didn't think it was my normal experience. I thought that most of the people I talked to that I worked with would at least have a conversation with me. But so I don't know.
What about
Uh,
after the party? Did you notice that this was a pattern, or did you think things were different after the party? Lay on my couch. Tell me your thoughts of your mother.
I'm not sure that I paid any attention to that because
Okay,
I just
so
thought, okay,
wait a minute,
I need
wait
to.
a minute, wait a minute. Don't rush. Don't rush. You didn't pay any attention to that. But because you got your feelings hurt that night, you did pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, the only difference I'm going to go out on a limb and say was that you were paying attention for a change. That these people
Maybe.
were not acting any differently than before or after, but you wanted a different result during.
Well, I always thought before it was because I didn't have lots of conversations with them. I didn't participate, because I was always thinking about work, what
Well,
what I had to
well,
do next, or
so what part did you play in this? So let me tell you why I'm asking that. All right. This is not, God, don't email me going, you're victim blaming. I'm not doing that. What I'm doing is that we are responsible for the results of our communications.
Mhm.
Okay. Because you're the only one that can control how you communicate. You're also
Right.
the only one that can control how you perceive your communications and the results that you get from it. You understand? So, what part did you play before, during, and after to get the results that you had? And when did you become aware of that? And I think you've already answered part of that. You didn't really become aware of that until the party itself because you were
Right.
in a different environment. But my question would be now for you, and you don't have to answer this because we're not going to sit here and psychoanalyze you and all this stuff. but it's a provoking thought for anyone that's had similar experiences, is that why did you think things would be different just because the environment was different? The people are the same.
I guess because I'm different at work.
Okay. So you're working from an assumption, and we all know what assume means.
Makes an ass out of me and you.
Yeah, usually just me, but usually just me. It makes an ass out of you and me. No, it's usually just me. But because everybody else gets butt hurt and all this stuff, and now it's all my fault. But which I don't care. But so now, see, you've just shifted subjects on me. I come to the table prepared for the subject that you.
Well, heck, I really thought it was fear and anxiety that I was feeling.
Well, it was, but it's fear. It's not the. It's not. It's deeper than that. It's multi, which is why I hate psychoanalysts on a lot of levels, and I hate a lot of the psychobabble that we get on social media, because there's no such thing as one diagnosis or one label, and that's why I hate labels, and that's why I don't like personality profiles like the Briggs Stratton Meyer Briggs and all that shit.
Myers-Briggs, Briggs Stratton.
Yeah.
Isn't that an engine?
Yes. Because you cannot put people in boxes, and that's
No.
you cannot put them. So you're afraid to go into a new environment, but the reason you're afraid to go into a new environment is because you don't want to feel bad. And what makes you feel bad is to not feel like you're part of the environment and you're not included. Okay. And then I was going to be there, and I was not feeling well. So I took away your security blanket. And I mean, let's be honest, okay? Let's be honest. That had a lot to do with it. And I knew the minute I told you I did not feel well, I'm like, oh shit, I fucked this up. I screwed this up.
You said the F word.
I know, I haven't said it in weeks. Sorry. I told you I'm not good. I'm not good. But so I have a security blanket because I don't like feeling excluded. I don't think anybody really truly likes feeling excluded. It's just, how do you define feeling excluded? I don't want, I can go sit in a corner in a room of people that I don't know and not speak to anyone all night long. And I'm cool with that. I'm totally cool with that. But if someone I know walks into the, I want a Coke. Oh man, I'm drinking this cold coffee. If someone I know walks into the group and doesn't speak to me, I am all butt hurt. I'm not butt hurt. I'm pissed off because I feel disrespected. I don't care that if you don't like me or not. I'm not expecting you to come over and act like you're my friend, but acknowledge my existence.
Well, that was just a thing because I know Crystal and Mark and of course Scott. And I thought, you have people there that you can smile and be friendly. And I thought,
But you
no, I
didn't have
can't.
me there, and I love you.
Well, I just felt out of sorts and I did not want to take that with me.
Now, and you were in a bad mood already because of that email that you got. We won't discuss that.
Yeah.
So you're in a bad mood. Your casserole didn't work out the way you wanted to. Your security blanket wasn't there. So nothing was lining up. So, you're totally out of your comfort zone now.
Yes.
Okay. So there's a lot of things going on there. Should you have gone? I don't know. Maybe you'd gone and had a good time. That's happened to me. But I've had just as many times where I've gone to something that I didn't want to and had a really shitty time, like my high school reunion. I didn't go.
Well,
Didn't go for 40 years, and I finally went, and it was exactly what I thought it would be. Now, the question that Freud would ask, was it because I was intuitive and knew, or did I make it shitty because of my attitude?
yeah, that's what I was afraid of. I did not want to make the experience shitty because of my attitude.
Well, I think it was probably a good decision overall. I'm sorry it worked out that way. At least
Because
now.
the people I knew that were going to be there, those are delightful people. I know them. but my attitude really was not, I was not in a frame of mind to be meeting new people.
So were you fearful? I don't think that's really the right word. I think you may have had some fear, but I don't think being fearful is the right
Is the right word.
label. Yeah. Anxious,
Mm, yeah.
irritated, not in the right frame of mind. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I make plans to go do something and at the last minute I cancel because I just don't want to. I just leaving my house is the last thing I want to do. But I'm an introvert, so go figure.
Well, that may have been part of it also. Is you just get stuck, which is ironic to me because I sit here by myself so much. Of course, I have a lot to do toward my herbal business and toward Miles of Smiles, and I have lots of things to do, but I find myself just not wanting to leave the house.
I'm thinking.
That's a part of being an introvert, I think, to me.
It is. And the other thing is that, okay, how do I say this? I was resentful for a long time going out into crowds and groups because I always felt like people treated me like I was the entertainment for the evening. Because I can be witty, I can make humorous remarks. I'm not a comedian. I could never do stand-up comedy, but I'm great at heckling comedians. I'm really good at that.
Yeah.
And it reached a point where I felt like, you know what? I don't want to feel like I am there for everyone's amusement.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to 180-degree level to where I would go to places and not talk to anyone. And what I found out is that even when I didn't know anybody there, people would come talk to me. And that was annoying. And I even put it to the test. I went with something with Scott to watch him participate in this activity. And I'm like, I don't want to be around anybody. So I'm going to take my camp chair. I'm going to go way away from the group. And I'm going to sit there and I'm going to play on my phone and I'm going to read my Kindle book. And just, when you do something, I'll look up and I'll watch and go, yeah. And then go back to what I was doing. And the next thing I know, there's 20 people sitting over. And I'm like, what the hell? They just snuck up on me.
Yes, I can be in the grocery store shopping and someone will go, do you know anything about this? And do you know where blah blah is? And I'm like,
I know. I had that happen to me one time. I did something really rude one time and I really felt bad, but I wasn't trying to be rude. It just surprised me. I was in the produce section. This like 80-year-old woman walked up. She goes, do you think that this melon is right? I said, ma'am, I said, you look like you're in your 70s or 80s. Didn't you grow up on a farm? Don't you know how to do it? Come to find out, I knew her whole life story before we left there, and she grew up in New York City. No, she did not grow up on a farm.
no, she didn't know the slightest
I
thing
must
about
have looked like I did, though. I must have looked like some hillbilly because she thought I knew, which I did, but that's not the
cantaloupe.
point.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, I get it. And
I have no idea what we're
know,
talking about. What are we doing?
we're talking about fear, anxiety, and being introverts. And because I can go when we go to parties and we do the entertainment, I can be delightful.
You are delightful. I've heard you work. You do a really great job.
And
But you're not
I
emotionally invested in that.
maybe so, yeah.
You're never going to see those people again, probably, or if you do, it'll be in the same environment, and you're in control of that environment. That's your table. Those are your
Mhm.
cards. That's
Yep.
your tablecloth. You're in charge. And I will tell people, don't touch that. Don't touch that. Also, you can
Don't
touch
touch
that,
it. No.
but like they always want to touch my crystal ball, and this cracks me up. They go, "Can I touch it?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's just glass." I'm like, what? And then
It's
they
just
go, Isn't it mystical? I'm like, no, it's a piece of glass. It's really pretty. Don't you like the way it looks on my table? I mean, I just pull the rug out from under the.
Oh, my stars. I
I'm
know, I
like, the
know.
real mystical thing is sitting right here in front of you. Look in my eyes. Here's the mystic. All right. Not in the damn ball.
No. Dang it.
I don't think we should do these on Mondays anymore.
Okay.
I think we should do it like Wednesday.
Okay.
I think the weekends has a bad effect on me.
Well, I know it can certainly have a bad effect on me too, because, I did laundry and it's still stacked on the bed over here. So
Bad girl.
yeah, I
Bad
know.
girl.
Yeah.
You can't sleep good if laundry's on the bed. That's a proven fact. It's a
I have a king
psychological.
size bed. I just sleep on half of it anyway.
Not the point. It's the energy. It's the blockage of the feng shui. I may look like a hillbilly, but I knew a few things.
Okay.
I really do look like a hillbilly. I have taken to wearing flannel. This is my third day in a row to wear.
Did you ever watch Mr. Mom?
I love Mr. I was just thinking that this morning. I'm like, so tell me, what do you think about flannel? Let me tell you, I think it's hot.
Oh,
So far,
yeah.
God has not grabbed me from around the collar and go, that's hot. However, I have gone, oh, it's hot.
I don't think anybody's gonna be saying that you're hot in flannel. You might, but they won't.
Well, thank you very much. I'm feeling like an old woman now.
Yeah.
However, ooh, let me tell you about this party I was at the other night. There was this young man. And I say young man, he was probably in his late 30s, early 40s. That's still young to me at this point. And he would not leave me alone. And he was just he was I am not so old that I have forgotten what flirting sounds like. He was flirting with me. So I got
It's a
something
good
on.
feeling, isn't it? It's a good
Well,
feeling to be flirted with.
yes and no. So we'll take it back to that in fear and anxiety level.
Okay.
So I had fear that his girlfriend would walk in because I knew he had a girlfriend. And either I don't know which worried me more, that she would be upset if she heard him flirting with me, or that she wouldn't be upset because she didn't see me as anything to be upset about.
Oh boy. Okay.
So I don't know which would have been worse. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I liked about him? He had good shoes. I had a thing about shoes with men. I will not, when I was single, I would not date a guy if he had crappy shoes.
Well, I did not know that was a criteria.
It was. I mean, cowboy boots, absolutely. Any kind of cowboy boots, unless they were like fake cowboy boots, you're through the gate. Boom, boom, you're already
Even
done.
even if they're caked with cow poop?
Yeah, because you can clean that off, you know. And that, in fact, depending on the circumstances, it might make him even more attractive because that meant he was a real cowboy.
Ah, okay.
Wanna be a cowboy, and you can be my cowgirl. Yip, 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 yip. Okay, so anyway, but like if they wore cheap shoes,
Mhm.
or if they wore ugly shoes, or if their tennis shoes were dirty, no, that did not work for me.
Mm.
So I liked really nice, like penny loafers, leather slip-on shoes, any kind of embroidery, smoking jacket, dinner shoes type things. I mean,
Really?
yeah, I mean, and I don't like feet, so it's not like I have a foot fetish. So don't be sending me pictures of your feet, people. I do not have a foot fetish, but shoes were a big deal for me, and I think it was because my dad was always big about keeping his shoes neat and clean and polished and spit shined and all that stuff. And I learned how to polish shoes when I was 3 years old,
Mm.
so I think that might have had something to do with it. But he had good
Well,
shoes.
polishing shoes was important at our house. And then when I finally went to nursing school, it was like they had to shine, shine, shine.
Yeah, and if you're wearing those white nursing shoes and they're all scuffed up, don't even talk to me. What a turn off.
Yeah, that does not exude. Oh my God, my Alzheimer's kicked in. Sorry. It doesn't exude confidence, does it?
Well, I think it's more than just confidence. It's like taking personal pride in how you look,
Mhm.
how you perceive yourself moving forward in the world. You know, do you exude confidence or do you exude wealth or success? I mean, I don't think there's anything hotter than a guy in a smoking jacket and velvet embroidered shoes at home. I just think that's hot. I just do. I guess I watch too many old movies. I don't know. It's cool. I like ascots too. That's cool.
Oh my Lord. Okay.
I know. I know.
No.
But I love bull riders too. So I mean, it's not like their little bow legs walking, you know, because they've had them
Ah,
wrapped in wool all night and their butts are sore. How did we get on this? Now I'm hot.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
So the title for today's show will be Fear, Anxiety, and what do your shoes say about you? And we love bull riders.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, Eugene?
And who flirts with you? And how old are you when they flirt with you?
I have, you know what's weird? Okay, so this is what's weird. Okay, so when I was really, really heavy, just so you know, if you've never met me, I have lost over half my body weight 12 years ago. I was huge. I went from a size 32 to a size 14, 16. Okay. And when I was huge, tons of men flirted with me. So I think that really aided and abetted my lack of self-awareness because I didn't know I was huge. It was huge. And so then I lost all my weight, but I didn't lose any of my boobs. But men quit flirting with me. And I'm like, okay, so I'm just old, you know, I'm getting old. So then I had a breast reduction last year. And now men flirt with me constantly with my itty bitty titty.
Funny, weird, funny, weird,
I know.
odd,
It is. It really
very
is.
odd. I don't, I don't know. Um,
So like when we're working at the parties, I always have an average of two men that offer to go get me something to drink. Am I okay? You know, because we're sitting at those tables for hours, you know? And I thought at first, because I'm like you, I'm a little socially obtuse at times. Okay. I thought at first they just think, well, there's grandma. Does she need anything? Taking care of the old lady. And then I realized that that's not how they were perceiving me. And I'm not saying that they just want to bed me. I'm not saying they can't wait to date me, but they were treating me as an individual. And it was like they were seeing me. You know what I'm saying? I'm
mhm, mhm.
not going to say they think I'm hot. I'm not going to say they think I'm a sex symbol and all that crap. But they were they're very kind and they're very attentive in a very flattering way.
Yes, and I have found since I've gotten older that there are some men that really do like larger women.
Oh yeah, they're called chubby chasers. I met a lot of those in my life because I've always been a big woman.
Well, I'm not small. Never, I haven't been small since high school. And what was so funny was even in high school, they told me I was fat.
Oh yeah,
I
and
weighed, yeah,
yeah, and I looked great in high school. But when I was in
yeah,
high
I did
school, I
too.
didn't appreciate that. I looked great in high school. I looked great in my 20s. It was after I had my daughter that my body just decided to revolt on me and say, we hate you and we're going to kill you. So, and it
Well,
was bad.
that's odd. When I was pregnant the first time, well, both times, I lost an inordinate amount of weight when I was pregnant.
Well, I did up until the last month with my son, and then I blew up because of fluids, and he was born with jaundice. And my son blames me for everything because he was born with jaundice. Anything that's wrong with him, it's my fault because he was born with jaundice. And I'm like, you're just lucky I got you out of my body alive. Shut up. So,
Well, yeah.
I think
Anywho,
that's what we should talk about next week is what's the difference in flirting and being attentive respectfully and being sexually harassed? Because I was reading an article in the paper yesterday where this woman was talking about how she was being sexually harassed. I'm like, damn, I would love to have men say that shit to me. What is her problem?
well, yes, because I can remember, I really felt like that I was probably sexually harassed in a way that was not like I want to bed you, not that kind of sexual harassment, but the kind that degrades you as a woman.
Yeah, to me, that was what sexual harassment was demeaning me because of my sex. If you were complimenting me and showing, I mean, how do men show sexual interest in women now without being accused of being harassing?
I
I
don't
find that
know.
interesting, you know?
Yeah, it's a thin line,
Now, I
and
will
it
tell you
has.
this is one of the things that one of my husbands said to me that got me to date him. He said to me one time, because I wouldn't date him, I was dating his boss, and I wouldn't date him. But he said to me, he goes, if I had you on my arm, I would be a better man just because you're next to me.
Hmm,
I'm like, damn, okay, that got my attention.
yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah. I never object to having doors open for me. I'm
Ooh,
always very appreciative.
even if it's a woman, open that door for me. You know,
I had the funniest thing happen. I was I was going in Tom Thumb. They have automatic doors. And so this guy stops and he goes, ladies first. And he said, don't tell me chivalry's dead. I said, that's very cute. Because he right before that he said, let me open the door for you.
and he stomped on the path.
And he waved his arm. But it was cute.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if you want chivalry, the one place I never got any chivalry, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying for me, it didn't. I used to go to a female gay bar, a lesbian bar with some friends of mine. Some were gay, some were not. Nobody would ever ask me to dance. Nobody would ever buy me a drink. It used to piss me off. But I could go to the gay bar where the men were, and I always got to dance. They always paid for my drinks. And I was like, why? Why do the men, gay men, pay better attention to me than the female? You know?
So,
I guess because
the most fun I ever had in a bar.
I guess I should have worn my flannel shirt and I would have done better.
The most fun I ever had in a bar was with a friend that was gay, and we were dancing, and he says, okay, I'm going to pull you up real close because everybody's going to wonder.
Oh, I love that.
Okay. It was fun.
I had two gay friends that would go out together, and we'd always the three of us dance, and they would say something similar. It's like we're going to make them wonder what we're up to, because the three of us would always so it'd be really sexy and everything.
Yeah.
And I actually and I mean that in the literal sense, dated over 10 gay men in my life. Of course, I was married to a gay man once, but that was not on purpose. But if I had known he was gay, I would not have married him. But, again, labels. How do you work with these labels? There's a lot of
I don't know.
fluidity And if you try to stay on those labels, it gets very confusing.
Yeah. I guess that's the other thing. As I get older, I realize that, you know, I'm overweight. Get over it. It's still fun.
Well, you can't define somebody by just one thing. And the thing about weight for me, and it always has been, because I've always liked big guys, I've always liked heavier guys as a rule. I did date my fair share of really thin mints, but man, they'll bruise your thighs if you're not careful. Did I just say that?
You did. You did say that in public.
We're gonna let it ride because I don't edit. We're about done here, though. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah,
What was I?
when we start going there, we probably need to be done.
Okay. I had a
Well,
point I
it's
was going to make, and I totally lost it. Totally lost it.
labels. We're
Oh,
talking.
I mean, the people that I had the most. My point was, is the people I had the most fun with were the ones that I didn't think that I would be initially attracted to.
Mhm, exactly. I can relate to that.
And the people I was the most attracted to in my entire life were the ones that were super intelligent, that made me think, that would challenge me and
Hmm.
my thoughts. And we could talk. That was one of the reasons why I really enjoyed being married to my gay husband. I really did, because he and I had some of the most provocative conversations. And he was a great conversationalist. It was great. So, you know.
Yep.
All right. Well, I think I'm done. When you start talking about bruised thighs and crap, it's time to let it go on a Monday morning. That's
Okay.
usually
Well, maybe
midnight
we need to
Saturday.
reconsider another day instead of Monday.
No, I think we're fine. I think
We're
we're
fine.
fine. I mean, do you really care? I mean, is this getting out
No,
of hand for you?
no,
Are you embarrassed?
no.
Damn, I'm losing my
Sorry.
edge.
Yeah, I guess you are, but
So, what are we going to talk about next week? Let's plan it right now. Right now, what are we going to talk about next week?
well, didn't you just say you wanted to talk about labels?
Yeah, let's talk about labels. Let's talk about labels. Of course, that can get messy. I was talking to my grandchildren about that yesterday with the binary, non-binary, you know.
Yeah.
And my daughter was like, my granddaughter, she's so she's so smart to be 12. She's like, May, I just don't worry about labels. I just look at the person, and are they nice, and are they smart, and do they treat people well? I'm like, who the hell are you?
Well, that's just it. If if you want to be friends with me, it depends on how you treat me,
Well, I
not
did
how.
ask my grandson, and he said he had a girlfriend.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and we've been all over the board with lots of things, and I just looked at him. I said, okay, and this person's name is, I was, because he's like, I have a special friend, is what he said. Okay, he's 13. I said, and this person's name is, and he gave me the name, and the name could have been a boy or a girl. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to ask, what sex are they? And he told me, and I said, were they born that way, or have they transitioned that way? And he goes, you are so funny. I said, I just like to know what I'm dealing with here, so I don't make any mistakes. I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to use the wrong pronoun. How do they identify? Because I'm planning on taking them all out, as a group next week. And I was like, I just need to know how to act.
Well, you're brave.
I know.
Yeah. Well, um, uh, I think that's probably the hardest thing we're dealing with right now is how people identify, and it's um I mean, if you look like a girl, I'm going to call you she. It's
I'm
just,
just gonna, I'm gonna ask you your last name and I'm gonna pretend I'm in the military. All right, Smith, up front. Come on.
I, and it's not that I mean anything by it. It's just that if you look like a girl, then I'm going to call you she.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that and about how people get offended due to okay, so like boomers, we're boomers.
Hmm.
Go boomers, go boomers. How we're ignorant about some things. I'm willing to
Yes.
admit that I'm ignorant about some things, but don't treat me like I'm, stupid because I'm ignorant. They're different.
Well, and I do, if somebody identifies or is transitioning from one to another, I don't want to say he when he wants to be a she, or she when she wants to be a he.
I don't want to be offensive, so I'm going to ask questions.
No,
And you can't be mad at me and tell me my questions are offensive when I'm trying to treat you with respect. I'm
because I
not
know
trying
I
to,
have a yeah, I
but if,
have a friend whose daughter transitioned to male, uh, and changed her name, and but by the time I met him, his voice was deep, and he's tall, and so I had no problem calling him he. But I know as the transition happened, she had a problem trying to go from she to he.
yeah, I found that to be true of a lot of parents. I know several people who have had children transition. And in fact, one of the discussions I had years ago was because this person failed to tell me their child was transitioning. So they used this pronoun, and that's the pronoun I used. And that person was deeply offended. And when I explained that I had no idea they were transitioning, then, things got better. But,
Yeah.
that
Well,
was putting me in a very awkward position, and it wasn't my fault.
and I have a cousin's child who did the same thing. Um, and it is so delightful to see his pictures now because he has this very brilliant smile all the time. And before it was, you know, unhappiness and nothing but unhappiness. But now you can tell just from the look on his face that he is where he wants to be.
Yeah. I, I just think people make a lot of assumptions. Again, going back to our original subject line, assumptions and labels and ideas of how things could be, should be, would be,
Mhm.
instead of just taking the moment. And I think that's what, when we say be in the moment, I think that's really the true definition of being in the moment, is just reflecting what you see and hear back the way it comes across, and
Mhm.
people communicating on those levels.
Well, and I also know that two, this all happened as they were like 17, 18, 19, and in their early 20s. So, I just feel like that they were confident in who they were inside.
Right. Well, we'll talk about that next week and the labels and stuff, because I do have some thoughts that, uh, and even in the gay, queer, trans community, I've seen
Mhm.
attitude shift, because my very first friend that was female was a trans woman. I'd always had male friends, and I remember what it was like for her in the 80s and what some of the priorities were back then as opposed to what they are now. So it's changed even in that community
Mhm.
as well. So,
But there's a whole gamut of labels that we go through, not just male, female, and like vice versa. I mean, I've always been fat. My friends told me I was fat. So, you know,
I had a girl in high school say, she goes, how do you do it? I'm like, how do I do what? She goes, you're always dating and you're fat. And she was like this big around. I mean,
Yeah.
that big
But
around.
we went to high school when Twiggy was famous.
No, I didn't know that. Of course I
Yes.
know.
Twiggy, who was
But,
this big.
well, you know what I said to her? I said, maybe it's because I have a personality.
Ooh. Yes,
I think
yes, you did.
I think I was more eloquent when I was a teenager because now I would say because I'm not a bitch like you, but I was much more eloquent.
Hmm.
All right, well, let's tell everybody goodbye.
Okay, goodbye. I'm going to try to release my anxiety and fear now.
Well, just go light a candle and blow the smoke away.
Okay.
You think I'm kidding? I'm not.
No, I know you're not.
So this is a thank you note. I wrote a thank you note to someone who's been mean to me, but I found something to bless them for, so I'm writing them a thank you note and sending it to
Well,
them.
that's good though.
Yeah, there's always
Did
something
that make you
positive.
feel good? Okay.
You didn't really want the answer, did it? Didn't make me feel good. That it made me feel like I just felt like it was the right thing to do. But no, it didn't make me feel good. You know, doing the right thing does not always feel good,
No, it doesn't.
but doing the right thing is the right thing, and you do it anyway. So I always try to bless people. So bless you.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Like you a lot.
You always say that. You know, that pisses me off. Tell me you love me.
Love you, Deborah.
I love you too. We'll see you later.
Bye.